Hey there, this is Clay, and today I'm going to be talking about the real purpose of the active no contact rule that Mika and I teach. And it's really based on some deep psychological stuff, basically called fused relationships or enmeshed relationships. And you see, a lot of people, when they get together and form a relationship, they end up giving up a lot of what they did before the relationship. They give up hobbies, they give up friends, they kind of let themselves go a little bit. And what happens is, as they kind of get rid of these things, they're left with these sort of holes in who they are. And they use that relationship to fill up those holes so that they can feel complete then. And what happens when two people are both doing that, they end up sort of fusing together and becoming enmeshed. And a lot of people may think that sounds really romantic, or that should be the way things work. Your partner should complete you. But it's actually not very healthy, because what you're doing is you're really just kind of using your partner as like this emotional crutch to prop you up, to define your well-being. And if they go away on a business trip or whatever, you have this like massive breakdown and it feels like your world is falling apart and all that stuff. And it's also just not fundamentally attractive. You and your partner got together because you're both attracted to each other for a certain reason. And if you start to give up different parts of yourself when you get together, you're going to lose that reason. And that's when the attraction starts to die. So anyway, I won't go too much more on that, but the real reason that we have people do the active no contact rule is so they can start to fill in those holes, so they can become that whole person that their partner fell in love with in the first place. Because a successful relationship isn't at the core of who you are as a person. The successful relationship is like the icing on a cake. You want your life to be this rich and delicious cake that's amazing on its own. And then the relationship is just the icing on that cake. And the problem is that a lot of people try to have an entirely frosting, icing-filled life, where it's just nothing but relationship. There's no substance to it. There's no cake underneath it to really be the kind of medium that the icing can really be applied to. And if you were to just eat a giant gob of icing, it would probably give you like a little bit sugar sickness, or give you this like massive spike in blood sugar and make you come crashing down. So I kind of use that metaphor because it's like a feeling that a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people have these like flash in the pan relationships because it's just all about like the relationship. It's not about like who the person is. It's just like this flash in the pan. It's just like this sugar spike, and then they just have this like ugh feeling afterwards. And I don't want that for you. I want you to have a great relationship, one that can last years or decades. And in order to do that, you need to have a solid foundation. You need to have a solid, complete life on your own. So that is really the purpose of active no contact. And then when you have that solid life, you can put the icing on in the form of that relationship, in the form of the connection that you have with someone else, in the form of that bond that you have with someone else. You can see what a great person you are, and you can see what a great person they are individually, and you can work together as a team and not prop each other up emotionally, but really keep each other company and support each other in your goals as individuals. So that is what my ultimate hope for you is, and that is what the ultimate purpose of active no contact is. If you'd like to learn more about how to get back together with the person that you love and make some of the changes that I talked about today in this video, please head on over to relationshipinnergame.com and sign up there. Thanks.